the drum sounds on the record had, first of all, a distinct sound of that time, sort of a more deadened sound with a snare.
I'll let Alan perhaps say the most about this, but I'd like to make one point, which is that what was relatively new about Dark Side was the business of having time in the studio to make these sounds and get them right. Up until Sgt. Pepper, really bands were expected to get things done in an afternoon, really, and maybe over the 3 or 4 days do an album. And so this complete change to a situation where basically you'd spend as much time getting the drum sound as a lot of bands up until then had spent putting down all the backing tracks.
I remember, in the early days of Dark Side, we did spend a fair amount of time getting a drum sound that Nick was unhappy with. I remember he was very unhappy at the very beginning. And I was scratching my head, well, what's he looking for? I can't imagine what I can do with EQ or anything else to make him happy. And suddenly we found it. We found the sound that he was happy with. And then from that day on, I never even had to refer to him or refer to the band. I just did it. I just got the sound up, and we did it over several days.
Yes, that's sort of interesting. It doesn't vary. I mean, I think listening to a lot of records, you hear, you maybe select one sort of drum sound for one sort of song, but actually the way we played that album, almost everything was done with more or less the same sort of bass and drum. The same balance almost between the two.
And everyone playing together, which is the great thing. I mean, that's almost unheard of these days. I mean, all four of them were out there in the studio playing, and I was on my own in the control room.
Was that a challenge for you as an engineer to make sure the bleed was minimal or that things weren't rattling? And
well, yes. I mean, that's what engineering is all about, to try and get each individual instrument not affecting any other instrument. Mm-hmm. But it was well balanced in the studio. It wasn't a problem.
Was the bass DI'd as well?
It was DI'd, but he always had it going through a cabinet, so he could hear it. But we did some tracks in 3 and some in 2, which again that makes it more of a miracle that we actually did manage to keep the same drum sound through 2 different studios.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. So, when you mic up the kit, was it left set up for several different songs then, or was it?
No, we tended to record a song and then maybe 2 songs, 3 songs, and then take a break and then come back a few days later or a week later.
I was just about to say I'd forgotten that, but that's really interesting. The fact of the matter is there was only the one drum kit. I didn't have a studio kit and a live kit or anything. So in between sessions, the kit would be packed up, taken out, and used live, and then brought back in. Oh. So it is particularly interesting that once we'd got it right, it stayed right.